What's up, everybody? No more intros. You guys already know who I am. You guys already know who this is. I am tired of repeating myself, and it seems a bit robotic. So let's get right into it. These episodes are gonna be about Rainmakers, the UFC Rainmakers on DraftKings. Yeah, it's actually pretty fun. I'm enjoying it. So I want to start doing some content on this sort of stuff. First things first, the spreadsheet right here. I'm gonna share this with you guys, so look out for that. I'll put it in the description here. This spreadsheet here. Um, First and foremost, I think I already said that, but who cares? I'll say it again. Um, I already forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, I'm taking this as a market game first. The fantasy aspect of it is secondary. What I mean by that is, uh, I'm looking to make money because again, we're doing this for the kizash, if you know what I mean, for that money, for that cheese. Um, so first and foremost, it's a market game, so I'm looking for value here and then reselling it in the market. Another little tip is buy packs because they've so far been positive EV, expected value, for those that are unaware. Um, buy the packs because you can either resell them for a bit of a profit, or if you do get hot cards, which you normally do, they're usually overpriced in the beginning, right when they drop, because people like want to buy them up for some reason. Like for example, this past drop, 283, I pulled in one pack, which was a legit pack. I got two elite cards. One was a Jamal Hill, and the other one was an Oliveira. Right away, I put Jamal Hill on the market. I was the first one to put him on the market. It's a scarcity thing too. Um, I put him at 69.69. Shout out to 69. Um, and he's currently at 65. And the only um, sales for Jamal Hill was mine, which was 69.69, which was the highest sale because the other one was a straight 69. Um, so I made a profit there, basically free pack and free other cards. Same thing with Oliveira. I sold him for 59. I want to say, yeah, I believe I sold him for $59, and he's currently sitting at 30. So one tip is, what I do is I rip a couple packs, save my other packs to see how the market moves and the price of the packs themselves move. Um, but I do recommend opening some and then selling your hot cards. Hot cards meaning high tier cards like elite level. Rares aren't really hot, but like a rare Rodriguez, I bet you can sell. Right now, he's sitting at 25. I bet people were paying like $50 when he first dropped. A Gilbert Burns, people were also paying like $40 on for his rare, and they do tend to stabilize because more come out on the market and there's more supply. Anyways, that's the market aspect of it. A little bit of tips. This is the sort of stuff I'm gonna be talking about as we progress along, as we chug along, and make that kids ash. So let's start off with the elite. Okay, the elite. I broke these into tiers. Um, this line is separating them. Um, Ihor is the separator. He's the last one on this tier, and what all these guys have in common is they're all a 2-to-1 favorite or higher, which is yes, right here inside the distance odd. I mean the odds. They're all a 2-to-1 favorite or higher. Percentage wise, they're all 68% or higher win rate. I picked that because that's where my confidence lies as far as like a favorite. Anything below that, I feel it's more like a coin toss and it's more volatile. That's very a blunt way of putting it. I know it's not a very precise way of going about this, but that's where I draw the line literally. And these are just my confident, like these are my locks. If I were to get any of them, I'll be confident. Obviously, the higher I go, the more confident I am. But I put all these in one tier. Um, Below that is all the ones that are not their underdogs. How can I explain this? So the people these guys are fighting, I expect them to lose. My confidence in them in losing is pretty high, so they're all in this bottom tier. Anything in between that is fair game. Who knows what happens there? This is the fight game, and it's a very volatile sport. So, right here's where I'm looking at for value. So, for example, let me throw in an example here. If you're playing the elite tier, which I'm gonna start playing, I haven't played it yet because I always sell my elite tier cards, and I just want to mess with it. But now that the comments are so cheap, I want to move up levels, and start dabbling in the elite tier. So the strategy with the elites, because they get pretty pricey, right? The top dog, Jalton Almeida, is 150 bucks right now. So if you're dropping 150 on one card, that's a good amount of money. There's some examples here on the differences between, because you'd be like, dude, why don't I just pick the top five dudes, top two elites, and then the next three top rares? You're gonna be paying a pretty penny for that, and you got to ask yourself, is the juice worth the squeeze there? Is the risk worth the reward right there? So it depends on the type of player you are. If you're a super risky guy, then go for it, knock yourself out, purchase all these guys up, drop that cash, and maybe you'll win it. You a very good possibility you could win it. Those are whales, I believe. If they want to drop like upwards of 500 on one or two lineups, because that can easily happen when you're buying all these top cards. But not something what we're doing here. We're looking for value, and the second benefit of playing with value is you're separating yourself from the crowd. Um, People, especially whales, are going to be playing these high top tiers. You're going to be purchasing them, so you want to get a fighter that's going to separate you from the rest of the crowd. I'm not saying to avoid all these guys, or we call them chalk in the DFS world, but go ahead and eat them up and take advantage of a value card, because you do need a second elite card, right? So you need one as your captain. So I recommend as your captain is one of these guys up here, the greater than 2 to 1 favorite, with the exception for Stamen, right? Because his inside of the distance odds is not great. It's only at 23%. This Brazil card, most all the fights are expected to end inside the distance. Some crazy -1000, -500, -600. It's rare to see this, so it's obvious that they're putting on a super exciting fight card that it's not going to go to the distance. Only two fights are their inside the distance odds is favored for it to go the distance, which is Cody Stamen fight with who is he fighting? Luan Lacera, right? That's who he's fighting, and the Davison and Moreno. Those that fight isn't. I mean, that's gonna be an exciting as hell fight, but it's expected to go the distance. Other than that, everybody else is expected to not go to the distance, which what that means is going to be a lot of volatility. Number one, and number two, a lot of ceilings, a lot of fighters scoring plus 100 points. We can see multiple fighters scoring over 100 points in this card easily. Easily, we can see that. So, in that case, let's get different. Let's get different. Let's not stick with this, because first of all, we're gonna save money, and second of all, we're not gonna replicate lineups with other people. So, long-winded way of explaining our next step, which would be, okay, so we need a captain for our elite fighter, right? So we're not going to ignore this. We want our captain to be a pretty safe pick, because if our captain goes down, if he doesn't win, we're in big trouble. So we don't want to risk that position, right? The captain position is very important. So we're going to get different somewhere else. So the captain position, we're looking at these prices, and what sticks out, I have a little value column. It's a product of the price, their projection. I'm using the stochastic projections, and their win percentage. It's a product of those three variables. And we have a value, what their values are. And what's valued the highest is Stamen, but I don't like that his inside the distance odds sucks. So Ihor, right, at 0.95 basically. We have others. We have Nunes also rated pretty highly, because her numbers are basically the same as Gregory, right? The betting odds, they're slightly better actually. Her win percentage is better, but their inside the distance percentage is exactly the same. So and Rodriguez, everybody's flocking towards him. he's at $125. This also shows you how much people are gonna be playing this fighter because they're so in demand that the price is up. So all the supply is basically the same, but the demands for these pricier fighters um, are a lot more. So many people are want to be playing these fighters. So a good pivot off of Rodriguez is Nunes, right? So Nunes is also a good pick. Either you want Nunes, they're basically the same. So what it's looking like, it's everybody in this top tier is good. You could take your pick between Ihor, Nunes, Gilbert, or Andrade. It's just what do you want to pay? You want to pay $50 or $70? What do you want? What's in your budget? How much do you want to risk? You can't go wrong with any of those four value wise as your captain. Actually, Gilbert Burns is looking really good. I love watching that fighter. Try not to get the bias in the way. It has been me in the butt in the past, but and he's fighting Neil Magny. Gilbert's just an animal after that Kazma fight. Um, Savage Gilbert. So if I want to pay up, the smart pay up actually is Nunes, for the number wise. But the fan in me wants to go for Gilbert. I'm probably gonna convince myself because I'm gonna say that $1.69 is such a cool number. Can see myself going Gilbert. But any of those four fighters as your captain is a good buy. You have remember in the elite level contest you need to play two elite cards. So our second elite, we're gonna take advantage of the getting different these value fighters right here, where it's basically a coin toss. We don't know who's gonna win, so let's take advantage of their cheap prices, right? Instead of getting a second high tier elite card and paying minimum $50, let's look down here see if we could pay like $30, $20 right here. Manure, money, mon. That's probably how you say it, manure. Um, so what looks good here, according to my value score, is Oliveira at $30. Simon Oliveira, and win percentage 62%, win percentage 37% inside the distance. It's pretty good value. I have him valued over one. He's the only fighter in this tier that's valued over one. So Oliveira's a good choice. Let's see, where's our nines? Oliveira and Gabriel Bonfim is a good choice at $45. Good choices right there. So that could be our second fighter right there. Can't go wrong with either one. I was also looking at Dolby. Dolby was looking good. I actually purchased him. He's at a .85. He's at $34. I also like him. Um, I would say stay away from the main event because I think a lot of people are going to be picking up on them, but they are valued not too bad. Not too bad there either. Can't go wrong with them. Um, so what I'm looking at there here in the our value fighters as our second elite is Oliveira. You could go for the main event, either one, take your pick. It's funny, their numbers are virtually identical, even their price ranges. Their elites are exactly the same. Or Dolby isn't too bad. That's as their second elite. Now our three rare cards. So we have to play two elites and three rares. So with the three rare cards, it's wise to stick with the safe picks right here and spending your money here. This is gonna depend on how much you want to spend. I can see the argument to go and pay up at Jalton Almeida at the $35. Depends how you want to go about it. Depends how much you want to risk. You could Jalton, um, Gilbert. I mean, and fill in the rest with all these super top tier. We're talking about Gilbert, Andrade, Nunes, and Jalton. Fill in the holes with those guys. Um, Maybe Rodriguez if you want to get in there too. I would stay away from Stamen there. Not because I don't think he's gonna win, but the inside of distance isn't too great. Um, Thiago Moises, you can go there as well. Um, but yeah, so for example, a good lineup here would be, we'll go Gilbert. Um, well, let's do the math. I wanted to show you guys this as well to see the difference. So say I'm just gonna pay for all the top fighters, right? Look how much you're gonna be paying. So let's go. Say I want Jalton as my captain, right? I want to save money and go down to Ihor, right? And then we're gonna fill it in with Nunez as a rare, Andrade, and Gilbert Burns. Look at that. We're looking to pay $261. All right, 261. Actually, let's not say let's be extreme here because there are better picks on paper. Taking money off the table, there are better picks on paper than in this upper tier than Ihor. Say I want to go Rodriguez, right? Say screw the money. Money's not an option. I mean, money's not an obstacle. Let's go with is the highest projected according to the numbers. You're looking at paying 236. Wait, I need to buy another rare. Let's say the cheapest rare. Let's be nice here. That would be Gilbert Burns. Say we're going. Did I just okay? Let's go here. It's pretty close. Let's go with Nunez rare. Boom, 281 bucks. That's how much you're going to be looking to enter the contest with 281. But if you go the value route and say let's use the extremes because a good way of learning is to look at the extremes of each side and then figuring out in the middle. So say and then you can go somewhere in the middle in between this. Say Ehor is going to be our captain. Oliveira is going to be our second elite, and that's going to separate us from the rest of the crowd and save us money. And then we'll go, say Gilbert, Andrade. What? Ah, man, what was it? What was it? What was it? Oh, jeez, what was it? Was it 19? Oh my goodness, I can't believe I erased it. Let's say it was 20. It was somewhere in there. 3, 4, and our last one will be Nunez. And again, you can also go Jalton if you want to go. So that's at 146. That's almost half. No, that is around half of this price lineup, right? And if we look at the payout structure of the elite tier, entering this lineup, the 285, we're gonna have to come in 17th place to get our money back. Minimum 17th place. Not saying it's not possible, but 17th place is first of all, we're shooting for this. That's why we want to get different in one spot. We're shooting for this top spot, the 10 Gs. Right? That's what we're shooting for. That's the goal. But we're looking at worst case scenario. If something doesn't work out well, to get your money back, you're gonna have to come in 17th place with that paid up lineup. And then with the value lineup at 146, you're gonna have to come in 150. You're just gonna have to cash out minimum cash, mid cash 157, and you have to come into 157th place, and there's a better possibility of getting first place. So treating this as a GPP, you want to either hit or miss. There's nowhere you don't want to be falling in here. That means you're not really building GPP lineups. You either want to like barely make it or hit the top. You want volatility in your lineup, so you want to pick one of these fighters, one because that's what other people are going to be picking. And this is MMA. All these inside the distance odds being so crazy, it's wise to at least get one fighter here. I wouldn't be surprised if two fighters from this range are gonna hit the optimal lineup, gonna score big. But obviously these are the ones that are favored to score big. But this is MMA and anything can happen. As far as the rare contest, similar concept. Our captain has to be a rare, so we're looking at these. Again, you can go Ehor. This one I could see the case to pay up for Jalton because it's not as expensive. So if you really want him as your captain, pay up here for 35 bucks. Second fighter, I'm looking down here. Um, what's a great value right here at a one at $9? Who is this? Oliveira again is a great value here. Actually, no, I was looking at the wrong one. 6, 5. So actually, the best value here is Munir. Butchering that name. It's hard to say that. Is that French? Laziz? Munir. Munir. Fancy way of saying manure. Um, 650, right? Best value there. Yeah. And he's priced at what, $3? That's why he's such great value. He's priced so low. He's priced at as a common card. That's the value here. See, this is somebody I'll buy because this guy should be more expensive where situation where he's at, and try to flip it. If not, just play it. Again, we're buying these to flip them because we're seeing values here. Worst case scenario, we just play them. We wouldn't have a hard time playing them. I would play. I mean, he's the crappiest one in this middle tier, but he does make the cut. He does make the cut with these lines that are drawn. So don't have a problem playing him. And again, he'll be less played in these lineups. Also, you can't go wrong with Ismail Bonfim, uh, $5. Dolby at $5, and then we're getting into the four. So Gabriel at $9. Oliveira at $9. McKinney's looking like overpriced. Some of it might be because he's so popular. Terrence McKinney's a very popular fighter. Really exciting to watch. Inside distance that is not gonna go the distance if I know McKinney, unless he changes his style, which I don't know if he'll do that. But similar concept. Pick one of these guys. Say we pick Dalby. Go Dalby. Say you're gonna pay up. Go Almeida. We got 40 right there, and then three other guys going right here. We could go again. Burns, Andrade, and Nunes. So we're gonna be spending around $60. $60 for the rare contest, and at 60 the payout structure. Uh, yeah, we're gonna have to go and finish in the top 100. Looks like close to 100. Not too bad. But our goal again is here 5,000, the 5Gs for the rare, right? Am I looking at the right one? Yeah. Really? It's only 5K? Okay, 5K for first spot. And then the core's different. I might be playing that one different. Uh, because the price isn't really the money here isn't really an obstacle because they're so cheap. So this rare core, and I do recommend this because people tend to play their leftovers in the core. If you saw the last video, the own fighter ownership, the chalk is pretty low owned in the core lineups. So not many people play these fighters. So I can see the argument to play just the top five dudes. Go right here. Jalton, Nunes, Andrade, Burns, and Rodriguez. Literally that top five, and see what that gives you. Um, because they tend to be lower played in the core cards. But I'm rambling on. I'm gonna cut it there. I've been telling myself to make these videos shorter because I know I rabble on. I'm like thinking and I just gotta get to the point. I don't want to edit this ish. I do not want to edit it. I want to keep it raw the way I like it. And I'm gonna end it right there. Peace.